Hi there, you're watching Impossible Color. Today's video is another in the before and after series. So looking at Adobe Camera Raw, this is my before image straight out of the camera without any processing. And here is the after. So you can see that it was brightened up quite a bit to get the details in the wood. There's going to be a lot of changes in Adobe Photoshop, so don't get too stuck on this as it is right now. You can see the shadows were brought up quite a bit in here, and the blacks as well. A lot more clarity that I would typically use. For things that have really interesting textures like this, I don't mind pushing the clarity, but when it comes to doing portraits, I like to keep that way down more towards the middle. We've got some changes in the saturation. The orange and yellow is brought up to exaggerate the sunset even more, make it look a little bit more like what it was when I saw it in person. I think the picture showed it a lot more subdued, and the blues were also punched up a little bit as well. So let's close that down and look at it in Adobe Photoshop, and we'll have a look at what the after is going to look like by the time we're done. See, it's a lot more of a warmer image and a lot more interest in the wood. So let's just turn off all those layers except for the first one. So normally I do my sharpening last, but because I knew that I was only going to be adjusting colors pretty much in this one, that I wasn't too concerned about the order. So let's just zoom into the wood here, and you can see I did a high pass layer. It's nice and sharp. I created a mask on the high pass because I only wanted it sharp where the wood was. I didn't want to bring the sharpness back here to the waves and all the distant objects. I kind of wanted some separation there. And on the mask, the way that you can make this work is wherever you paint white, it's going to apply whatever you're doing to that layer. Wherever you paint black, it's going to mask it out. So the high pass filter can be found into Filter, Other, High Pass. And what you're going to end up with is something like this. Let's just turn off the layer mask. And we'll put this on full. So what you can see is it's just finding the edges of everything here and creating some separation. And when you go to overlay, you can see that it exaggerates the transitions wherever a dark meets a light. If you go overboard with this, you can get some really strong haloing, but I find a little bit can help your image pop. Sometimes if it's too strong, I will mask out a little bit tighter so you don't actually see the edge being sharp and you'll just see the interior being sharp. So let's enable that again. And I think we had it turned down to 50%. And I applied a second one just to get a little bit of extra sharpening there. And now let's go to the color balance. Now you'll see that you could also go up here and go to Image, Adjust, and you could do color balance, and the next one that I'll be doing is Selective Color. You do all of that stuff in here, but what happens is when you do it in here, it's permanent. Now if I do it in here, I can double click it and I can change it all I want and go back to it at any point. Much more practical. So let's go back to full screen, fit in screen. And you can see that I went for a much warmer image, and then I went to much more warmer image globally, But then I went and adjusted each color individually with Selective Color. So in this one, you can go to each individual color and adjust the CMYK values for that color. So you can see for the yellow, I added a lot more yellow, and I brought out some cyan. So let's turn that on. And for this image, I really wanted to blow that sunset out there and get some nice rich reds and oranges and show the full color transition there, as opposed to just a yellow strip with a tiny bit of orange at the top. So I wanted to get that real fiery look from yellow to orange to red and blend it right up into the sky here. We still had one last step to do here. You can kind of see that there's some grayed out areas along the edges here. It's kind of spotty. And my best guess is that was caused by chromatic aberration or Adobe Camera Raw's treatment to try to get rid of it. You can kind of see it here as well. And some missing holes here and the strong orange. So I went around all of the edges of the objects and I removed it, painted it with a brush set to color, so that it would match what was right next to it and it wouldn't stand out. So we'll get to that problem area that was in here. You can see before and after, all this mess here was removed and it blends in nicely with the background. So let's turn the after off. Zoom in so you can see some of the details of this interesting driftwood. And there you have it. That's the before and after for this image. If you liked what you saw here, please leave some comments below. If you had any questions about the steps that I did, I'd be happy to help you out. If you want to get more videos like this, just click the little subscribe button down below and you'll get some notifications when they come out. Thanks for watching Impossible Color.